Russia was in a state of anarchy. They called it,
like I said, Poland, like this crazy. Like I had said that before in the last stream, how Poland actually had some type of control of Russia. In Kiev, we all know was part of Russia. There was no type of Ukraine. Before that, Ivan the Terrible, Fyodor the First, he ended up not having no. He was childless. Like Rudikid, that's what it was called. The Rudikid dynasty ended with Fyodor because this nigga he decided to not have no kid. Like he kind of betrayed his whole bloodline for. Cause how do you end up childless, bro? You have a whole dynasty here. I know you had all the women, so how exactly do you end up with no kids? Is insanely diabolical to me. But it's crazy. Fyodor was where the Rudikid dynasty ended, and then the Tsars became there, and then Ivan the Terrible, Alexander, I believe, was the first one, and Ivan the Terrible, and then his son, and then the random guy that was claiming to be Ivan the Terrible's son or whatever. His advisor became the Tsar, but he got killed. And there was one of the Tsars who eventually I think he was the advisor. I think he was the advisor who they kind of chased him down, or they killed his whole bloodline, his whole family, kids, wife. They killed him. Right? They killed him completely off. So that was that. That's actually terrible. But hey, when you're dealing with a population that's going through famine, that can't eat, that can't build, society's messed up, economy is messed up. That's exactly what happened. So I ain't gonna sit here and blame them for what they did. And during Ivan the Terrible's time, the time of troubles, Poland took control. Other cities took control of Russia, and then eventually, like they had said in the video, they fought back.
Time of troubles. The people were terrorized by war, famine, and plague. Up to a third of them perished. Foreign troops occupied Moscow, Smolensk, and Novgorod. But then, Russia fought back. Prince Pozharsky and a merchant, Kuzma Minin, led the Russian militia to Moscow and threw out the Polish garrison. Since 2005, this event has been commemorated every 4th of November as Russian National Unity Day.
Russian National Unity Day, November 5th. The Romanovs.
The Russian Assembly, the Zemsky Sabor, realized the country had to unite behind a new ruler and elected a 16-year-old noble, Mikhail Romanov, as the next Tsar.
That is crazy.
His dynasty would...
16? 16 years old is insane. I'm not gonna lie though. 16 years old, selected to be a Tsar.
The Zemsky Sabor.
That is crazy.
The Russian Assembly, the Zemsky Sabor, realized the country had to unite behind a new ruler and elected a 16-year-old noble, Mikhail Romanov, as the next Tsar. His dynasty would rule Russia for the next 300 years.
300 years.
Tsar Mikhail exchanged territory for peace, winning Russia much-needed breathing space.
Okay.
His son, Tsar Alexei.
It seems like there were a lot of... The 16-year-old actually he had a better mentality than a lot of the Tsars that came before him, especially Ivan the Terrible. Right? I actually had other people who actually defended Ivan the Terrible and actually said he actually did some of the good things also, not just all the bad things, not just the time of troubles, you feel me? But this 16-year-old, he came in, he said, okay, we need some peace, give Russia some breathing room, and it seems like he went on to do great things. If his dynasty could last 300 years plus, that means he did something great, right? That means he eventually did something good. Okay, like that.
Implemented a new legal code, the Sabornoye Uluzhenie. It turned all Russian peasants 80% of the population into serfs, effectively slaves, their status inherited by their children,
That's
and
crazy.
with no freedom to travel or choose their master.
That's crazy.
It was a system that dominated Russian rural life for the next 200 years. The head of the Russian Orthodox Church, Patriarch Nikon, imposed religious reforms that split the church between reformers and old believers. It's a schism that continues to this day. Ukrainian Cossacks, rebelling against the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, recognized Tsar Alexei as overlord in exchange for his military support. It led to the 13 Years' War between Russia and the Polish-Lithuanian
Oh my
Commonwealth.
God, 13 years?
Russia emerged victorious, reclaiming Smolensk and taking control of eastern Ukraine. A revolt against Tsarist government, led by a renegade Cossack, Stenka Razin, brought anarchy to southern Russia. It was finally suppressed. Razin was brought to Moscow and executed by quartering. The sickly but highly educated Fyodor III passed many reforms. He abolished Mesnichestva, the system that had awarded government posts according to nobility rather than merit, and symbolically burned the ancient books of rank. But Fyodor died aged just 19. His
Yo,
sister
how-
Sophia
Wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute. He died at the age of 19. So I guess eventually, so it didn't. If you were the son of a current Tsar, if that current Tsar ended up dying, it does not. It seems like it did not matter like how old you were. You would be the next one in power regardless. That's a crazy. The fact that you just told me he died at 19. What type of decision could a 19 or a 16-year-old be making? Yo, I guess back in the day, just people really were just mature for at early ages. You feel me? That's crazy. And how old was he when he got in power? Because he abolished the mess. Let me see if I can read it. Mesnichestvo.
that had passed many reforms. He abolished Mesnichestva, the system that had awarded government posts according to nobility rather than merit, and symbolically burned the ancient books of rank. But Fyodor died aged just 19. His sister Sophia became Princess Regent, ruling on behalf of her younger brothers, the joint Tsars Ivan V
Peter the
and
Great,
Peter
here we
I.
go.
After centuries of conflict, Russia and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth signed a treaty of eternal peace. Russia then joined the Holy League in its war against the Ottoman Empire. Sophia's reign also saw the first treaty between Russia and China, establishing the frontier between the two states.
Peter the Great. He was one of those.
At age 17, Peter I seized power from his half-sister Sophia. Peter became the first Russian ruler to travel abroad.
Yeah, this man, I knew a little bit about it. He actually traveled abroad, seen what other countries were doing, what other empires were doing, and signed a couple treaties and make peace with everybody. And Russia started flourishing, right? They started flourishing. They started being a great nation. They started being recognized all over, started implementing different system for the economy. Everything was just flourishing. It seemed like everything was just great during Peter's the first time. Peter the Great time in power.
He toured Europe with his Grand Embassy, seeking allies for Russia's war against Turkey, and learning the latest developments in science and shipbuilding. The war against Turkey was successfully concluded by the Treaty of Constantinople. Russia gained Azov from Turkey's ally, the Crimean Khanate, and with it, a foothold on the Black Sea. Peter made many reforms, seeking to turn Russia into a modern European state. He demanded Russian nobles dress and behave like Europeans. He made those who refused to shave pay a beard tax.
Beard tax is crazy.
Peter built the first Russian navy, reformed the army and government, and promoted industry, trade, and education.
Yes, indeed.
In the Great Northern War, Russia, Poland, Lithuania, and Denmark took on the dominant power in the Baltic, Sweden. The war began badly for Russia with a disastrous defeat to Charles XII of Sweden at Narva. But Russia won a second Battle of Narva, before crushing Charles XII's army at the Battle of Poltava. On the Baltic coast, Peter completed construction of a new capital, St. Petersburg. The building of what would become Russia's second largest city among coastal marshes was a remarkable achievement, though it cost the lives of many thousands of serfs. The Great Northern War ended with the Treaty of Nystad. Russia's gains at Sweden's expense
crazy, bro.
made it...
It's kind of crazy how you could just be living in a city, right? Like St. Petersburg, for example, like the Narva War, the Narva battle example. Like, if you don't know, like, your house might just built on a space where a soldier was just killed. It's crazy. Shit like this, it's insane when you learn about history of the shit that's might have just taken place exactly where you're standing at the time. Crazy, I'm not gonna lie.
The new dominant Baltic power. 4 years before his death, Peter was declared Peter the Great, father of his country, emperor of all the Russias.
I guess he was the first emperor. The 4 empresses.
Peter was succeeded by his wife Catherine. Then his grandson Peter II, who died of smallpox, aged...
So what did Catherine do? Are you just going to skip Catherine? Like, what did she do in her reign? Like, I don't get it. No feminist movement? No feminist movement? I don't get it. Like, why you just gonna skip her like that?
Just 14. Empress Anna Ivanovna, daughter of Peter the Great's half-brother Ivan V, was famed for her decadence and the influence of her German lover Ernst Biron. During Anna's reign, Vitus Bering, a Danish explorer in Russian service, led the first expedition to chart the coast of Alaska. He also discovered the Aleutian Islands,
now we
and
in
later gave his name
41
to the sea that separates Russia and America.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can.
Hold up. Run this back, huh?
The coast of Alaska. During Anna's reign, Vitus Bering, a Danish explorer in Russian service, led the first expedition to chart the coast of Alaska. He also discovered the Aleutian Islands, and later gave his name to the sea that separates Russia and America. After Anna's death, her infant grandnephew Ivan VI was deposed by Peter the Great's daughter Elizabeth. Ivan VI spent his entire life in captivity. Until age 23, he was murdered by his...
Nigga, what? Hold on.
Elizabeth.
Hold on.
The VI.
Hold on.
After Anna's death, her infant grandnephew Ivan VI was deposed by Peter the Great's daughter Elizabeth. Ivan VI spent his entire life in captivity. Until age 23, he was murdered by his...
Spent his entire life in captivity until age 23 and was murdered by his guards. That is fucking insane. No, that is insane. I did say it was mature back in the day because we had a 16-year-old that became one of the next czars of Russia. We had another one. We had him, supposedly Ivan VI. Yo, I feel like when it comes to this lineage thing, it has like the dynasty thing. That was something that I had to be terrible because, bro, if you're like 5 years old, fuck are you supposed to do? You don't really know nothing. But you next in, but he was deposed. That is, I ain't gonna lie, that's a little crazy.
Elizabeth. Ivan VI spent his entire life in captivity. Until age 23, he was murdered by his guards during a failed rescue attempt. Elizabeth, meanwhile, was famed for her vanity, extravagance, and many young lovers.
But
she was also capable of decisive leadership. In alliance with France and Austria, Elizabeth led Russia into the 7 Years' War against Frederick the Great of Prussia. The Russian army inflicted a crushing defeat on Frederick at the Battle of Kunersdorf, but failed to exploit its victory. Meanwhile, in St. Petersburg, the Winter Palace was completed at vast expense. It would remain the monarch's official residence right up until the Russian Revolution of 1917. Peter III was Peter the Great's grandson by his elder daughter Anna Petrovna, who died as a consequence of childbirth. Raised in Denmark, Peter spoke hardly any Russian, and greatly admired Russia's enemy, Frederick the Great.
Oh, he's the op. He's the op, boy. 1962, Peter III, huh? He was a real fucking op. First of all, he was not even born in Russia. Second of all, you going to admire Russia's worst enemy? That is insane, bro. Frederick the Great. That's crazy. That's insane, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Peter III was Peter the Great's grandson by his elder daughter Anna Petrovna, who died as a consequence of childbirth. Raised in Denmark, Peter spoke hardly any Russian, and greatly admired Russia's enemy, Frederick the Great. So he had Russia swap sides in the 7 Years' War, saving Frederick from almost certain defeat. So he had Russia swap sides in the 7 Years' War, saving Frederick from almost certain defeat. Peter's actions angered many army officers, and he'd always been despised by his German wife, Catherine. Together, they deposed Peter III, who died a week later in suspicious circumstances.
Hey, they poisoned that boy. Hey, they poisoned him. Oh yeah, suspicious. So he was despised by the army of. So he was not liked by the Russian army. He admired Russia's enemy, raised in Denmark, and his life did not like him whatsoever, and got disposed. And a couple weeks later, he died of suspicious reasons. Oh yeah, they killed him. They definitely killed him, bro. Hey, Peter III, he's like a traitor, bro. Yeah, he had to go. I'm not gonna lie, he had to go. He had to go. Cause there's no way, bro. Like, what was his allegiance like, bro? Who was his allegiance to? Definitely not Russia. Denmark? Nah, it had to be Prussia, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. He had to go. He had to go. He had
Peter's
to go.
actions angered many army officers, and he'd always been despised by his German wife, Catherine. Together, they deposed Peter III, who died a week later in suspicious circumstances.
Yeah, right, buddy. They killed
His
him.
wife, Catherine, became Empress of Russia. Her reign would be remembered as one of Russia's most glorious.
Okay. You got somebody who did something.
Epic History TV depends on donations from its fans.
We got a woman who actually did something. Okay, that's for the next episode, right? That's for the next episode. Catherine the Third. Yo, I think Catherine got his ass killed. Catherine got his ass out of here. Up and out of here. That is for sure. Couple weeks later. But he had to go. You feel me? He had to go. He couldn't stay. But yeah, this was episode 2 of learning history. You feel me? This episode will be uploaded soon.